Hey everybody, this is Francesco Abbruzzino. As my friends call me, it's Frankie. And we are live. It is Saturday and we got a ton of news to cover. But first, I wanted to cover our sponsor, Dominic's Blinds and Decor. For more information on Dominic's Blinds and Decor, give them a call at 941-922-2345. That's 941-922-2345. Or check them out at dominicsblinds.com and tell them Phil Grandy sent you. All right, folks, we got a busy day. I sat down and I was trying to think of what could we discuss today. And the conversation, what could it revolve around? We have the MPPD officer that got fired over sexual accusations. Yes, again out in Northport. Or do we cover the city of Sarasota paying up to $1,000 to send the homeless elsewhere so it can become somebody else's problem? I wasn't sure where to start, but I think I'm going to cover those two next week because they're more involved and it's going to take a little bit more research. So I decided to save them, and we're going to go with these issues. We're going to discuss the gun buyback program. Is it really effective? We're going to discuss 2050. And does it leave the developers and the county commissioners seeing green as in greenbacks or more trees? We tried to get to it last week. I just didn't have enough time. And why can't various cities within the county and county commissioners work together? Should they check their egos at the door? Housing discrimination within Sarasota, say it ain't so. And should we give our money to donations to charities like YMCA and ALS? Have you checked their 990s before contributing? So let's start with the gun buyback program. Is it effective or ineffective? I'm here to say it's ineffective, so I'm not sure why we're doing it. The Sarasota County Sheriff, Tom Knight, will hold a community gun back, a turn-in event, and the latest component of his ongoing anti-violence initiative. You're thinking, well, this is a good thing, right? It'll be held on September the 13th. This event is intended to help reduce the number of firearms available to those who would commit crimes or high-risk individuals who may harm themselves or others after coming into contact with this firearm. Only functional firearms will be accepted, they say, and they're going to give you, guess what, $50. Now, how many crooks out there do you think are going to show up and do this? Do you think it will be effective or ineffective? Are gun buyback programs an example of are they a spectacle masquerading as a legitimate public safety effort? The gun buyback program allows city residents to turn in their weapons, no questions asked, anonymity is there, in exchange for a gift card. You're thinking easy cash, right? Big money. Well, on the surface, one could be tempted to consider this program a remotely decent government idea. However, after some brief reflection and just a tad bit of research, I am left thinking that these programs leave residents with a warm feeling of comfort inside, but it's a perceived effectiveness. I think they may be largely ineffective in reality. You know, the proponents are out there and they'll say, hey, look, these gun buyback programs, they could have been used to kill someone. We're taking them off the streets. You can't commit any more crimes. We're taking away that avenue. This is illogic but misguided. It's a misguided proposition. Guns can be used to kill people. That is a given. And you and I will not argue this. We will come in agreement on this. But what matters more than the existence of gun is who's possessing this gun and what are their intentions. After all, people kill people. The guns don't kill people, folks. And I think we all realize that. In order for this gun buyback program to be effective, there must be people with firearms and ill intent turning in their weapons. Is there any reason you can think this is the case? None. I say none at all. How many criminal thugs are going to turn it in? I mean, can you see a thug from the local hood coming in to turn in his gun and say, wow, I just got a $50 gift certificate? Think, people, think. I'm telling you, I see this thug sitting there thinking, should I use this gun to rob the corner store? Or the drug dealer on the corner walking away with a few hundred? Or should I go into Tom Knight's program and turn it in for $50? Call me crazy, but I think the latter makes sense. Not the latter in this case, the primary. But through the limited research and available suggestions out there, the gun buyback have no effect on crime rates whatsoever, folks. I've checked it, I've researched it, I've looked into it. There are several reasons why. Beyond the low likelihood that evildoers will show up to these gun buybacks, which are not going to happen. These buybacks might take a few hundred guns out of circulation. However, I'm here to tell you that these numbers are very low relative to the total number of guns that are in the streets. And they're taking them away generally from the people that are not these thugs, the ones that are going to commit the crimes. Even if we pretend that the guns are the cause of the crime, the hundreds and even thousands of guns taken out of circulation over several years are a drop in the bucket compared to the hundreds of millions of legal and illegal firearms out there in the country. Then there's a reality that there's no reason to think that the weapons turned into the buyback programs can't or won't be replaced. Someone could turn in an old or stolen firearm at the buyback. That would be a good thing, right? It's off the streets. The thugs are getting them off the streets. However, I would have to ask you, why have them if agencies like the National Institute of Justice have stated that these gun buyback programs are ineffective? Why are we implementing them? If they're ineffective, why are we doing it? Even this National Institute saying they're ineffective. So why do we do it? There really are no metrics to determine whether these programs are doing anything more than providing photo ops for the city politicians like Sue Chapman or our Sheriff Tom Knight. Don't get me wrong, he's a good guy, but it's more of a photo op. It's more of a make you feel good inside. And these studies merely confirm what common sense suggests, that buybacks don't work. And for the same reason gun control doesn't work, folks. The bad guy doesn't go by the rules. You know, the bad guys have their own rules. They don't turn in guns. They don't obey gun laws anymore than they do laws. They can and do always find guns no matter how hard you make it. So gun restrictions and buybacks, they affect only the good guys. It is as if the government is acknowledging a battle between gun criminals and gun victims, but are trying to disarm the wrong side. Why are they trying to do this? Buybacks are an attempt, folks, for an easy answer to a relatively complex problem. There is no substitute for just continuing with all these things. We know each will make a small difference. Make it harder for the people who shouldn't have who have the guns, who are using them for protection, making it harder for them. Punish crimes committed with guns much more harshly. Do a better job at IDing the risk at youth, the ones that are at risk. It's all out there. We just have to do it. At least Sarasota County's efforts, it's a modest effort. Some cities make buybacks so that they're so lucrative that the dealers just make a killing by selling the guns for less. They take them at the gun buyback, they give out a $50, the dealers buy it off the sheriff, they go out and turn around and sell and buy it. The bottom line is, gun violence is horrible. We all agree on that. It's horrible. Just as all the violence is, but Sarasotans have no reason to think that this gun buyback is anything more than a hand-waving event by our city officials. And we should be concerned. We need to look beyond it and see what's really going on here, folks. So I suggest to you that if you're a gun-toting individual and you're not a thug out there, keep your gun. Keep it for safety. Keep it to ensure the security of your household. Keep it because those thugs are keeping theirs. Now we're going to be back. We're going to talk a little bit about 2050 and much more. This has been Frankie, and we'll see you in just a few seconds. Thanks. Get some of this great apparel from theroguegrant.com or the Uncensored Report or thevinishscoop.com. We have hats, shirts, coffee mugs. They say educate, inspire, and change. Or for my Scoop fans, it'll say the Venice Scoop, Sarasota Scoop, etc. Help me with this operation so I can continue to get a fresh perspective on the news out to the masses. Thanks a lot and have a great day. Just go to my website and click on the icon. Hey everybody, this is Frankie and I'm here today to introduce Longevity. It's a great nutritional supplement to anybody that's eating right or not eating right. I take supplements on a regular basis and Longevity cannot be beat, especially at some of the great price points. So go to theroguegrant.com or the uncensoredreport.com and click on shop. Go down to Longevity, click on it, and you'll be helping out the operations of the station so that we can continue to bring you a fresh perspective on alternative news. Longevity, check it out today.
Is your manager giving you safety and security? Wouldn't you like to make your money work harder for you? Then you should consider joining philsgang.com, where thousands of individual investors have successfully profited.
This year I'm up 60% on my portfolio. Following your system has been fantastic. I've been with you for about a month and a half now, and I'm already up 7%.
I've been in the business for a long time, and you're really one of the best I've ever heard.
Well, I just want to let you know what a great teacher you are.
For over a decade, philsgang.com's Phil Grandy and Donald Cogswell have been teaching, coaching, and investing right along with all Phil's Gang members.
I want to thank Donnie for market rep. I bought 2,500 shares of AUI and sold it this morning at $820 profit.
Why not join thousands of satisfied Phil's Gang customers today? Go to philsgang.com, philsgang.com, or call 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264. Call today.
1-800-PET-MEDS. Yes, get your pet essentials, your medicines, your collars, everything you need online. And guess what? You'll be supporting the operations of this great station, the Uncensored Report. So go to my website, click on the icon for 1-800-PET-MEDS, and help us continue the information war that's going on out there. Did you know that the Bead Room, Macy's, and Sam's Club are now part of my organization where we are doing a revenue sharing program? So go to my webpage, theuncensoredreport.com. Click on any of those three links and take advantage of some of the free shipping or discounts that you may get. In return, you're supporting the operation and allowing me to continue to get the message out, both locally, nationally, and internationally. Thanks for supporting the program. Get some of this great apparel from theroguegrant.com or the Uncensored Report or thevinoughscoop.com. We have hats, shirts, coffee mugs. They say educate, inspire, and change. Or for my Scoop fans, it'll say the Venice Scoop, Sarasota Scoop, etc. Help me with this operation so I can continue to get a fresh perspective on the news out to the masses. Thanks a lot and have a great day. Just go to my website and click on the icon. Check out My Patriot Supply. They got the straw there. That straw is great. I tell you what, folks, you can go out and basically, if we're in a critical situation and there's a massive hurricane, there's no water, guess what? You use these straws, the life straw, out there in the pond, and it cleans out all the water and gets you filtered water. How can you beat it? Check it out. Check the product and much more, and help support the operations at theuncensoredreport.com. Hey everybody, have you thought about fluoride, how it's dumbing us down? Why don't you give Fluoride Shield a try? Or how about Survival Shield to help you get the iodine that's been taken out of our salts? Give both of these products a try. Just go to theroguegrant.com or theuncensoredreport.com. Click on my shop area and click on the InfoWars icon. It'll give credit to the operation and help us continue to get the message out there. Have a great day. Hey everybody, this is Frankie, and I'm here today to introduce Longevity. It's a great nutritional supplement to anybody that's eating right or not eating right. I take supplements on a regular basis, and Longevity cannot be beat, especially at some of the... Hey everybody, have you thought about... Okay. Yes, now. Wait for it, wait for it. Hey everybody, this is Frankie and I am back. I hope you enjoyed that intermission. Now, we're on to more exciting things. How can we do anything more exciting than talk about gun buyback, right? Well, we're talking about 2050. Now, we're going to try to make 2050 exciting. Most people, when they hear it, they're like, what the heck is 2050 and why do I care? Well, that's what they used to think. until Neil, the developer, came down here in Venice, until many, the Bendersons of the area came in and started developing our area. You see, 2050 leaves the developers seeing green. That's the way I see it. They see green. And I mean it's in dollars. And then we're not talking trees. Okay? Basically, the 2050 shapes how land is to be used in rural eastern Sarasota County. It allows these developers to build more homes as long as they follow certain guidelines and preserve open space. But it's not happening that way. And the question is, do neighborhoods need a voice in the 2050 process? Or do they even have one? And I'm here to say they don't have one. Do the majority of citizens want or do they need unbridled growth in Sarasota County? I'm telling you, we don't. It is a 2050 plan for a reason, isn't it? I mean, doesn't that mean that the plan is intended to last until 2050? Or is it a general guideline as we're seeing right now? It's open to interpretation and change depending upon how much the green the politicians see. And I'm not talking about the trees out there, folks. I'm talking about the developers. And many feel that the proposed changes to 2050 will enrich just a small handful of people and burden the community with increased fees, taxes, decreased property values, environmental issues like the MIACA with the runoff. Has the county commissioners asked the residents if they want to pay more taxes to enhance the profits of the developers and a welfare program for the corporations? Corporate welfare at its worst, folks. Are the county commissioners playing the game that the voters voted pro-growth politicians? I hope not. I hope that's not the case, because that would mean that they think us residents are just dumbed down. We're dumbed down. Too much fluoride. We don't know the truth. But the fact is that the two that will basically take the county seat are Republicans. They won the Republican primaries, which only had a very small percentage of the overall Republicans voting. No Democrats, no non-party associations. They go into November against write-in challengers, whose names aren't even on the ballot. So no, the voters have not spoken. These people have been basically chosen by a small percentage of voters on the Republican side. Many area residents and environmentalists thought the county is on the brink of dismantling 2050, or at least weakening it. And we're seeing this with some move just a week ago. Key provisions that protect our environment and taxpayers are disappearing, or they're finding loopholes. And guess what? It looks like they were correct, because we are seeing the 2050 demise. If recently discussed pro-developer amendments are passed, will the area become a hotbed for developers? This is already happening, folks. It's already a hotbed before a lot of them passed. Here are the main amendments. Property less than 20 acres and in rural heritage estate areas will not be subject to conservative subdivision requirements. Developers must demonstrate fiscal neutrality before the county approves their project. And the county may also offer incentives to the developers to help them get out and include affordable housing. The 15-year wait no longer exists because it was too slow. Wait a second. I thought it was the 2050 plan. How is it that we're moving too slow if it's the 2050 plan, folks? That's the question. So we're going to go out there. We're going to pay us taxpayers. We're going to install all this water, all this sewers out there. We're going to build the roads. Even though the developer that is primarily responsible for it, the county said, forget it. We're going to take care of that stuff for you guys. You know, they invested $2 million into this gliding Jackson consulting firm to come down and help create the 2050, which they're dismantling. It's not unlike this Margaret plan, this Doc Margaret with the homeless. The city of Sarasota is out there saying, we'll pay $1,000 to kick you homeless out of here and make you somebody else's problem. And then the Doc Margaret's like, you never even consulted me on this. You're paying me to consult you. What is wrong with our leaders? What is wrong with our leaders? One reason given for firing the former county administrator was his recommendation to hire a new consultant, a consultant who would conduct a more credible analysis. They didn't even do that. So, is 2050 being revised to appease the developers like Neil, Benderson, Manatee Ranch, and all those folks out there? Is it for the greenbacks that they're going to bring? And we need to ask why. What logic? And does it make any sense to us? It's leading to several developments that are causing issues. And many of the councilors here, Bob Daniels is on board. They won't listen to the city folk, like myself. They're saying, oh, they're not calling in. They won't listen to the county folks that live right across the street because they're not within their city. Forget the fact that they hire city employees. Forget the fact that they shop at the city stores. They send their kids to the city schools. Bob Daniels doesn't even care. He doesn't give two craps. He just wants this area to grow and flourish and become a next tourist destination. Neil, he states that his development will not impact Miami directly, which may or may not be accurate. However, it will impact it indirectly. They're building up these elevated properties with these walls, and these walls will just redirect the water in an unnatural manner, and all that runoff will go into the Mayaca. All those pesticides, all those fertilizers from the lawns, all those nicely manicured lawns will all filter into the Mayaca. What about the poor folks that bought the property thinking it was going to be one house per 5 acres, and now it's been changed? What about those folks? The 2050 plan offers generous development options in exchange for ours, the taxpayer, and the community's protection. So why? Has the county and city decided that revenue and temporary jobs will bring in more and is more important than the residents that are already here? If Sarasota housing supply were too low to meet demand, it would make sense. But I get that, but it's not the case, folks. We have a ton of zombie homes out there. Northport alone has like 50,000 vacancies. Infrastructure, our roads can barely handle the influx of traffic now. So we need to look at this plan and see if it's the right decision, folks. And I'm telling you, I think they're siding too much with the developers. And you can see it with Benderson, with his Benderson Park, his Benderson Mall. He builds this huge mall, now we got to pay for this diamond interchange, $70 million. When is it going to end? When is the corporate welfare for these developers going to end? When are the politicians going to stand up for the residents and not these damn developers? We'll be right back with some more interesting subject matter, folks. Thanks a lot.
Is your money manager giving you safety and security? Wouldn't you like to make your money work harder for you? Then you should consider joining philsgang.com, where thousands of individual investors have successfully profited.
This year I'm up 60% on my portfolio. Following your system has been fantastic. I've been with you for about a month and a half now, and I'm already up 7%.
I've been in the business for a long time, and you're really one of the best I've ever heard.
Well, I just want to let you know what a great teacher you are.
For over a decade, philsgang.com's Phil Grandy and Donald Cogswell have been teaching, coaching, and investing right along with all Phil's Gang members.
I want to thank Donnie for Market Wrap. I bought 2,500 shares of AUI and sold it this morning at $820 profit.
Why not join thousands of satisfied Phil's Gang customers today? Go to philsgang.com, philsgang.com, or call 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264. Call today.
Get some of this great apparel from theroguegrant.com or the Uncensored Report or thevinousscoop.com. We have hats, shirts, coffee mugs. They say educate, inspire, and change. Or for my Scoop fans, it'll say the Venice Scoop, Sarasota Scoop, etc. Help me with this operation so I can continue to get a fresh perspective on the news out to the masses. Thanks a lot, and have a great day. Just go to my website and click on the icon. Get some of this great. Did you know that the Bead Room, Macy's, and Sam's Club are now part of my organization where we are doing a revenue sharing program? So go to my webpage, theuncensoredreport.com. Click on any of those 3 links and take advantage of some of the free shipping or discounts that you may get. In return, you're supporting the operation and allowing me to continue to get the message out, both locally, nationally, and internationally. Thanks for supporting the program. Check out My Patriot Supply. They got the straw there. That straw is great. I tell you what, folks, you can go out and basically, if we're in a critical situation and there's a massive hurricane, there's no water, guess what? You use these straws, the life straw, out there in the pond, and it cleans out all the water and gets you filtered water. How can you beat it? Check it out. Check the product and much more, and help support the operations at theuncensoredreport.com. Great price points. So go to theroguegrant.com or theuncensoredreport.com and click on shop. Go down to longevity, click on it, and you'll be helping out the operations of the station so that we can continue to bring you a fresh perspective on alternative news. Longevity. Check it out today. Fluoride, how it's dumbing us down? Why don't you get Fluoride Shield to try? Or how about Survival Shield to help you get the iodine that's been taken out of our salts? Give both of these products a try. Just go to theroguerat.com or theuncensoredreport.com. Click on my shop area and click on the InfoWars icon. It'll give credit to the operation and help us continue to get the message out there. Have a great day. 1-800 Pet Meds. Yes, get your pet essentials, your medicines, your collars, everything you need online. And guess what? You'll be supporting the operations of this great station, the Uncensored Report. So go to my website. Click on the icon for 1-800 Pet Meds and help us continue the information war that's going on out there.
Is your money manager giving you safety and security? Wouldn't you like to make your money work harder for you? Then you should consider joining philsgang.com, where thousands of individual investors have successfully profited.
This year I'm up 60% on my portfolio. Following your system has been fantastic. I've been with you for about a month and a half now, and I'm already up 7%.
I've been in the business for a long time, and you're really one of the best I've ever heard.
Well, I just want to let you know what a great teacher you are.
For over a decade, philsgang.com's Phil Grandy and Donald Cogswell have been teaching, coaching, and investing right along with all Phil's Gang members.
I want to thank Donnie for market wrap. I bought 2,500 shares of AUI and sold it this morning at $820 profit.
Why not join thousands of satisfied Phil's Gang customers today? Go to philsgang.com, philsgang.com, or call 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264. Call today.
Hey everybody, this is Frankie, and we are back enjoying this beautiful Saturday, and we're talking about Sarasota County and local issues. We just finished up with the gun buyback that the Sarasota County Sheriff is having in about a week. Then we talked about 2050 and the developers running with all that green and the county commissioners laughing all the way to the bank. Now, we're going to continue the talk, the conversation along with governments. And why can't these goofballs work together? What is wrong with these guys? From the city of Sarasota and Sarasota County and Venice and Northport, they're not able to check their egos at the door. They need to set their egos aside. They need to resolve the come as you are homeless facility issue. They need to solve the Warm Middle Springs issue. They need to talk to consultants instead of going out and making decisions, especially when we paid over $120,000 of your hard-earned dollars. Dollars you're working for, folks. It's not too much to ask, is it? What is wrong with our government officials? The question is, why can't they check their egos again? At that door, get the job done. When it comes to making decisions, it seems as though our local government entities are referring to consultants. Let's refer to them. Let's give them $50,000 to tell us if we should be dredging. Let's pay $120,000 out to the doctor and just totally ignore all this homeless requirements. Why are we doing this? Why are we as residents allowing it? You know, we got Warm Mineral Springs. It once again is closed. They've got that homeless consultant I keep talking about, Doc Marbury, over $120,000. We're not going to follow through with any of the suggestions. Money well spent. They're laughing all the way to the bank. The holy grail of reaching goals through interagency collaboration will require that our county and our city officials create this new culture and visible leadership by political appointees. And we need this throughout Sarasota, Venice, Northport, throughout the whole county. But I'm not a believer that it will happen anytime soon, folks. No, I'm sorry, I'm not. Interagency collaboration should be thought of not as a tool, but as a mindset. A mindset that becomes part of who they are. And I don't see this happening. I'm not seeing this at all when it comes to Sarasota County or any of the four entities, cities within the county. Many of our leaders feel that such collaboration can be inconvenient. And our politicians, they don't want to be inconvenienced, do they? Why would they want to be inconvenienced? I firmly believe that as elected politicians, it is their job. They must be held accountable for pushing the employees, the city and county employees, to cross cultures and go into an interagency effort to communicate with the other agencies. Government employees within their jobs tend to be experts, so why not ask them for advice? Why not ask them instead of the consultants? Why not ask them to collaborate? The best collaboration is not top-down, but horizontal, folks. And I know you got to believe it. You got to be on the same page as me, right? Perhaps the responsible city employee could have collaborated with county employees on more Mineral Springs, and they could have found a solution. You know, how about the homeless come as you are situation, or the dredging issue? Why couldn't the county employees and the city employees collaborate, come up with an idea, come up with a package, a solution, and then bring it to these ego-ridden politicians that are just goofballs sitting there trying to make political points? Then perhaps we would not be consistently closing more Mineral Springs or breaking up their partnerships. The different governments would not have to be paid or paying over $120,000 to homeless consultants, knowing that the different entities will never be able to reach a consensus. On this homeless question, when I saw Marbury coming in, when I heard about him coming in, I knew they were not going to reach a consensus. Yet they still all agreed. They all said, let's do it. Then you have people like our county commissioner, soon-to-be county commissioner, Paul Chiargiulo. He said, I wasn't really for it, but yet he voted for it. What was Paul thinking? What were many of these politicians thinking? The different governments, look, all of this could have been avoided if the responsible government officials would have their employees collaborate with each other versus having a dysfunctional local government entities resolving issues. And I say resolving when they're not really all being resolved. In most cases, they leave them unresolved or worse off. Look at 2050. I just covered that. We don't have to even go much further, do we? Once consensus is attained, bring it to the politicians then to implement. The biggest hurdle to government is not working together. It's when the same government politicians have to handle the issues from the beginning to the end. Their egos, their agendas, their ties to special interests tend to get in the way. And then they elect and hire these consultants for $50,000 as a form of political coverage, all at the lovely taxpayers' expense. Isn't this lovely of them? This is awesome. I love politicians. They're great. The Sue Chapmans of the world. There are a variety of mechanisms to implement this interagency collaboration effort that I'm talking about. You know, you could appoint a coordinator. Agencies co-locating within facilities or establishing interagency task forces. These mechanisms can be used to address a range of purposes, including policy development, program implementation, oversight and monitoring, information sharing and communication, and building organizational capacity. It's not too much to ask, is it? Many of the meaningful results that the federal government seeks to achieve require the coordinated efforts of more than one agency, and often more than one sector and level of government. Effective implementation of this approach could play an important role in facilitating future actions to reduce duplication, overlap, fragmentation, disagreement between the entities. Perhaps this would end the need for these consultants, all this taxpayer money that's going to them. And trust me, I try to get all this information from these people. It's like pulling teeth on the consultants. You'd be amazed at how much money is going out the door to them. Now, you might not think anything much of it. You might not think it's a big deal because it's not coming directly out of your pocket. But I'm here to tell you it is. That's money that could have been used for some other project, maybe building a park in the city so that their kids could play. Perhaps having old Johnny, getting Johnny down at the new basketball court or skate park. People in Venice are pushing for a skate park. But we don't have that money available because they're sending them out to the consultants. And so what we're asking, folks, and I don't think it's too much, but, tell me if I am. I don't want to step on anybody's feet right now. Tell me if it's too much. Get out there. Get people to work within each agency. Get the employees to get out there. And I tell you, these city employees, these county employees, they know their stuff. They know what will work, what will be effective. They're not idiots. Don't treat them as idiots. Check your ego at the door. Go down to John and Sue and say, hey, Sue with Inglewood, or not Inglewood, they're the county part, but Northport. Send us someone to contact with. Venice, Longboat, or Lido, whatever it is. You guys all get together. You all discuss it. Come up with a game plan for X subject. We will bring it to us, and our job's going to be to implement it. All right, so that's my thoughts on the politicians. And I tell you what, I don't think it'll ever happen, folks. I think it's needed. If we just look around us, like I said, the 2050, the homeless situation, the list just goes on. This dredging, God, I could just go on and on with the list. We need them to step up. We really need we need to wake up and hold our politicians accountable. Unfortunately, I don't see that happening because I went out in the elections. It was 21% participation. And still, you'll get a lot of these people, I run all my scoop pages. They'll all sit there arguing and complaining about government, but I bet a large chunk of them, 79% did not vote. We'll be right back after a short message, folks. Don't miss me.
Is your money manager giving you safety and security? Wouldn't you like to make your money work harder for you? Then you should consider joining philsgang.com, where thousands of individual investors have successfully profited.
This year I'm up 60% on my portfolio. Following your system has been fantastic. I've been with you for about a month and a half now, and I'm already up 7%.
I've been in the business for a long time, and you're really one of the best I've ever heard.
Well, I just want to let you know what a great teacher you are.
For over a decade, philsgang.com's Phil Grandy and Donald Cogswell have been teaching, coaching, and investing right along with all Phil's Gang members.
I want to thank Donnie for market wrap. I bought 2,500 shares of AUI and sold it this morning at $820 profit.
Why not join thousands of satisfied Phil's Gang customers today? Go to philsgang.com, philsgang.com, or call 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264. Call today.
From theroguegrant.com or the Uncensored Report or the VeniceScoop.com. We have hats, shirts, coffee mugs. They say educate, inspire, and change. Or for my Scoop fans, it'll say the Venice Scoop, Sarasota Scoop, etc. Help me with this operation so I can continue to get a fresh perspective on the news out to the masses. Thanks a lot and have a great day. Just go to my website and click on the icon. This is Frankie, and I'm here today to introduce Longevity. It's a great nutritional supplement to anybody that's eating right or not eating right. I take supplements on a regular basis, and Longevity cannot be beat, especially at some of the great price points. So go to theroguegrant.com or the uncensoredreport.com and click on shop. Go down to Longevity, click on it, and you'll be helping out the operations of the station so that we can continue to bring you a fresh perspective on alternative news. Longevity, check it out today. 1-800-PET-MEDS. Yes, get your pet essentials, your medicines, your collars, everything you need online. And guess what? You'll be supporting the operations of this great station, the Uncensored Report. So go to my website, click on the icon for 1-800-PET-MEDS, and help us continue the information war that's going on out there. 1-800-PET-MEDS. Yes, get your pet essentials, your medicines, your collars, everything you need online. And guess what? You'll be supporting the operations of this great station, the Uncensored Report. So go to my website, click on the icon for 1-800-PET-MEDS and help us continue the information war that's going on out there. Check out My Patriot Supply. They got the straw there. That straw is great. I tell you what, folks, you can go out and basically, if we're in a critical situation and there's a massive hurricane, there's no water, guess what? You use these straws, the life straw, out there in the pond, and it cleans out all the water and gets you filtered water. How can you beat it? Check it out. Check the product and much more, and help support the operations at theuncensoredreport.com. Hey everybody, have you thought about fluoride, how it's dumbing us down? Why don't you give Fluoride Shield a try? Or how about Survival Shield to help you get the iodine that's been taken out of our salts? Give both of these products a try. Just go to theroguerat.com or theuncensoredreport.com. Click on my shop area and click on the InfoWars icon. It'll give credit to the operation and help us continue to get the message out there. Have a great day. Hey everybody, this is Frankie and we're back for the final segment. Hopefully you're enjoying this new setup where you're seeing me. It's a live feed. We're going to see how it turns out and take it from there. But let's get to what the conversation's revolving around. The conversation today is revolving around government and many of the issues we're having out there. Now we're going into the whole discrimination issue. Well, you know, we're getting off government, I guess, because it doesn't really involve government. It does involve an entity out there looking at the different apartment complexes and seeing, is there racial discrimination in Sarasota? And to most of us, the concept may seem like a relic of decades past. You know, housing discrimination, that doesn't happen here. It doesn't happen in Sarasota. And we're not just talking about race. It's sometimes disabilities, sometimes sexual orientation. Housing discrimination continues to be an issue in Sarasota and across the nation. And that it can take more forms, like I said. The fair housing laws are out there, but they still need to be enforced in today's society. You have groups like the Fair Housing Center, and they're needed just as much as to help victims apply those laws. Maybe someday there won't be any housing discrimination, and will become an outdated term. But we're not there yet, folks, and we found that out here in Sarasota recently, didn't we? On Tuesday, Don Hasdell, he's the director of the Joint City and County Housing and Community Development. He met with city commissioners in Sarasota to have their staff draft up a City of Sarasota diversity statement and for the commissioners to approve it. His recent study found that there is discrimination in housing and within Sarasota, and it's very common, and it has been for years. According to this Herald's article, across the county, hopeful renters visiting apartment complexes, complexes, usually receive poorer treatment, less information, or higher rent quotes if they are a minority or a disabled person. And this is a shame. Why is this happening in our society, folks? Why? The researchers took 20 randomly selected apartments, found that 14 treated the black renter or the person with a disability differently. This is a shame. It shouldn't be happening. They would ask them questions about income, their family, or not provide them with any rental agreement. Just send them on their merry way. Some were quoted higher rents or wrongly told that apartments were not available when they were. So imagine what an individual could be denied housing in today's world because the folks in charge simply felt like it, because they didn't like something about the applicant, because they're racist, because they discriminate against the disability. Imagine that another person was kicked out of a house because of some people got in their heads that something is wrong with this person because of the color of their skin. Not in Sarasota, right? In Sarasota, bald and baseless discrimination doesn't fly, right? People are protected from being discriminated against because of race, religion, ethnicity, disability. Unfortunately, that's not happening. And it's happening in Sarasota. Make no doubt, discrimination is unfair, it's destructive, and it's humiliating, it's illegal. Even though the nation is making real progress in combating housing market discrimination, it's still a problem here in Sarasota, and we should be ashamed. This report or action on his request will not ensure racial fairness, though, in a market that's shaped by many other factors. Many real estate agents would probably say their advice isn't shaped by racial factors, but by what their years of experience tell them and people preferences. Nonetheless, any type of disparate treatment based on race, intended or not, overt or embedded, is still discrimination. And we should be embarrassed as a community that this is happening in our wonderful city. One other issue that I want to discuss, and you know what? This may be one of the first shows I've gone through all my subject matter. And this is the truth behind the social media driven donation campaigns, because it's driving me crazy. It's a tactic that's often used to scam well-meaning people. And yes, I mean scam when I mention ALS and YMCA, and I'm going to tell you why. First I got to admit, when I first heard of this whole ALS challenge, I applauded it for the ingenuity that the charity was getting people. They were bringing out the awareness, they were getting the money, and that so many people were involved. However, being the cynic that I am, I decided to check into the organization before even considering sharing the challenge on my scoop pages. And let me start with taking a look at more than the $94 million that ALS has collected in donations through this whole ice bucket social media campaign. I started wondering, how much of that $94 million, how much is going towards actually helping people? Did you know only 27% of those funds make their way to researching a cure for the disease? Despite its nonprofit status, you have six-figure salaries, and they're bestowed upon the group's top 10 executives. Did you know that the ice bucket phenomenon, a significant portion of that is spent on ALS, is actually going towards big pharma, pharmaceutical interventions? How do you feel about that? They're not going towards the survivors. They're not going to help pay their bills. They went around and I've read a few research items. And they said, okay, you had ALS, you have it. Your husband had it. Did you receive any help from this organization? The large, significant majority of them said no. We never had any help from them. They're funneling the money to Big Pharma, folks. And Big Pharma is then working on a pill solution. They're patenting it, and guess what? They're making a fortune off of it, off of your donations. Is this not a Big Pharma welfare program, basically? Which we are supporting with charitable donations? How about Susan B. Komen? Or G? She's known for her pink ribbon campaign. She's doing the same thing, only 20% towards research. $550,000 towards their salaries. Think about it, folks. And then they sit there and they receive tons of money from Coca-Cola, General Mills, and KFC. Buy a bucket of junk food and pretend as though you're helping save a life while slowly taking your own. How about the local YMCA? I checked out in Venice. I posted the wise numbers on my scoop pages. Their top 3 people make six-figure incomes. 53% of their money profits go towards salaries. Guess how much was given back to the community, folks? And everyone's like, oh, they do so much for the community. They do so much. Less than 2%, folks. Actually, I think right at 2%. Of their revenue went back in grants. You heard me right. They brought in over $12 million and gave out $295,000 according to the 990. Yet everyone talks about how great they are, how much they do. Yet they have this image in the community as doing so much for so many. I often look at their wall of fame where you have all these banners up there. They're hung up there. They got the company's name to thank them for contributing. Silently, I wonder if they know their donations really are not helping as much as they believe they are. But hopping back to ALS, the bottom line is on ALS, on YMCA, and on a lot of these charities is that there's thousands of organizations out there that are better, that could really use your money. Instead of ALS that's getting 29 or 27% to the Big Pharma, instead of the YMCA, which is giving 2% back to the community. You can find better charities out there. Some that are medicine-based, treating the sick around the world. Others might be in areas such as education, clean water, animal rescue, arts. Simply just give money to a poor person. In virtually all these cases, there's no obvious positive effect to any donation you're given. So just don't assume that by nature of advocacy that a charity program is good. Check their 990. Be wary. See where the money's going. Just don't go out by word of mouth that the Y does great things for the community. ALS is helping the people. All right? And that's all I ask. Be more careful when you're looking at money. Now, check me out next week. Go to theuncensoredreport.com for my national and international show Monday through Friday at 9, and I will see everybody later. I forgot I had to do that ending.